Meowdy, my little chickens in a biscuit. It is I, your cat mama from Cat Mama Meows. Do drop in, where we also have the Black Cat Tavern that serves adult beverages as specialties every night. Cat Mama, that is I. I'm phoning in from my bed. Yeah, I'll show you. Here, this is who is above my bed. Yeah, isn't he a handsome feller? He makes me smile. Well, I haven't been feeling so great the last day and a half. I've had to not work, starting half the day yesterday and continuing today. Not really sure what's going on, but I'm not, I made a doctor's appointment, so it's fine. That's gonna be fine. Anyway, on a happy note, I have returned. I was gone for a week to Mount Shasta. And in Mount Shasta, I was there, oh my gosh, with the most incredible group of human beings. I was there 2 years ago with the very first Mount Shasta retreat created by the lovely and delightful Kim Copeland and the lovely and delightful Danny Shea. And it was so wonderful. And I think that time I was only there for maybe 3 days. But this time you had the option to stay longer. So I went early and got involved in some activities, and I stayed longer and was able to do some activities. Those would be the opening and closing ceremonies on the mountain for the whole retreat. And it was so special. There was a good number of people that returned from last time. So, of course, there's Danny Shea and Kim Copeland, because they put it on, and the wonderful Alice Leong, who many of you know, and also Kelly Scarborough, the mystic next door. Just wonderful, wonderful people. And this lovely lady, Laverne, and her wonderful husband, they fly in from Hawaii. And some other folks that returned from last time, Mary Hubble, who flew in all the way from the East Coast. And we had people from all over the country, really. And we had more this time. Oh, hi, this is Nino. Nino, say hello to the people. Okay, maybe not. It was great. This time we had, to include helpers and family and spouses, we had about 50 people, I think, thereabouts. And this time Linda G came, the lovely and wonderful Linda G, and Auntie Mel Dorr, the Aloha Shirt psychic. And man, did he look good for a fella who's had some big time surgeries lately, who's been in the hospital. And he looked great. He was a wonderful to be around. And he's so fit and energetic. And I mean, if you didn't know any different, you wouldn't know that this fella had even what was it, last year, a year and a half ago? He had, well, it could be longer than that. It just seems like it was recent, but he had the cancer in his throat. And recently he had some intestinal issues and some major surgeries. And honest to goodness, you would not know that he's been through these big health upheavals, because he's so energized and so, otherwise healthful, and just fit and lovely. And so anyway, I could just mouth awesome. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I got off track of what I was talking about. But it was so wonderful. It was such a wonderful experience. I was bummed when they didn't do it last year. I did get up to Mount Shasta last, maybe fall, for a different event. It was a New Earth Expo for the weekend, and I drove my friend who was working the Aura camera at that event. But it's really different when you're with the woo-woo community that we've built here on YouTube, you know. It's wonderful that we get to share each other and get to know each other through the magic of YouTube and laptops and phone cameras. But to actually get to spend time with each other in person is just irreplaceable. And yes, sir. Yes, you can tell everybody hi if you want to. Come on up, sir. To be with this community that I just love so much. This community that really formed a unit. Oh, Nino just plopped down in my arms. Oh, he's such a good boy. I love you so much, Mr. Man. This community that, for me, really gelled during the first, how shall we say, Orange Reich #1, and then, you know, COVID, and we've stayed together. We have stayed together, and more people have joined the community, and it's astonishing, and I'm so thankful, so grateful for all of you, and it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. In fact, I have decided that you are the village that will help build my animal sanctuary, Love Lives Here Ranch, but that's another conversation. So I want to go back to Mount Shasta. I mean, it is a miraculous, it's just stunningly beautiful. Anyway, no matter what you think about woo-woo or non-human beings, truly beautiful. But if you have a connection, if you have a spiritual connection, if you feel a connection to Pleiadians and Telos or Telos, depends on how you want to pronounce it, and different kinds of energies. I mean, I could go on and on about Shasta. I'm going to try not to, but I think we all walked away with some very similar messages, not the least of which is that we are beacons of peace. And as such, we need to go out in the world and continue to be those beacons of peace, to be the purveyors of peace. Here's a very peaceful person right there. And I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about being a beacon of peace, being a purveyor of peace. I don't remember, because I've read so many books and I've gone to so many lectures, and I've watched a lot of podcasts and videos and stuff over the years. But somewhere way back in the day, there was I think it was, honestly, I don't remember, but they said, visualize with every step that you take that you're leaving behind this footprint that is a column of light, of white healing light. Every step you take, you leave behind you a column of white healing light. And I think that's a wonderful visualization. That is opening yourself up to being a conduit to beauty and peace and healing. Every step you take, you leave behind a column of white healing light, peace, joy, love, right? You know, you can elaborate on that as much as you like. And so I wanted to say that, and I wanted to say also that, yes, we are experiencing just unbelievably awful circumstances right now. And as we've been saying in the community for some years now, and it's still just as true, and we have to learn how to do this, at least most of us, to observe, because there's a certain level of needing to know what's going on, but not absorb. Observe, but do not absorb. And that takes some training, some discipline for some of us. I'm getting better at it. I really am. Because we can't be taking on all the ills of the world. We should acknowledge we know what's going on, but not suck that into ourselves and become unbalanced and become, sucked into a negative vortex. It is really important that we stay as positive as we can be. And being positive does not mean you don't know what's going on, and it doesn't mean that you approve of what's going on. It just means you're not allowing that stuff that's going on to take you over, to dominate you. Your energy, your dominant energy, is extremely important. And in the law of attraction, you bring to yourself whatever your dominant energy is. So if your dominant energy is positive and good, you bring more of that to you. And in doing so, we not only improve our own lives, but also we set the example. And setting the example is also very important. We can't do things for other people. They can only do for themselves. But we can set the example. We can show how to live in a good, productive, healthful way. And we can also, by doing this, by leading by example, we also, that fits very nicely into Gandhi's idea of being the change you wish to see in the world, right? So if you want more peace and more positivity and more joy and health and kindness, then be that. Put that out there. Choose to live your life that way. Choose to, and it is a decision. The only thing you have control over in your life, truly have control over, is your attitude. And your vibe changes from moment to moment, or it can. And if you're feeling something that doesn't feel good or feels uncomfortable, you have the ability to change the station on that. You can turn the dial. In other words, choose to look for better feeling thoughts and focus on that. And I always say, like, puppies, kitties. And that's just me being funny, but I do find myself saying that. Like, if I find myself, like, grouching about something, if I realize it, I know it sounds goofy, but I honestly know, I've said it so many times, I'll go, puppies. That's a reminder to myself that I can change the energy that I am allowing to dominate, that the energy that I'm focusing on, or the energy that's being created from what I'm focusing on. And so, here we are in this situation that, yes, it will change. but we'll be more successful at it if we make some changes. And I go back to us, being up at Mount Shasta for the week and hearing the message over and over to be, peaceful, to be the beacons of light, to be the beacons of peace, to be purveyors of peace. And I think it's probably an unpopular opinion, but nonetheless, I believe it's true. Those people, oh, yes, sir. Yes, the people should see you and how beautiful you are. Those people that we're having so much agony and pain over, let's just call them the orange cult. They're the contrast in our life as we are the contrast in their lives. The cult members do believe they're correct, they're right, they're following God. And they're convinced that we are the problem, the contrast. And actually in the natural world, and I've said this before, there's always going to be contrast. We don't live in a one-dimensional world. It's binary code, zeros and ones. It's the lights on or the lights off. And when the light's off, that means there's no energy to the bulb, to whatever you're trying to turn on. You have to have both. We don't live in a world where there's not going to be contrast. It's not natural. But how we perceive contrast is something that we can work on too. It feels a lot better to understand contrast as something that occurs in the natural world instead of thinking of contrast as some kind of evil that we somehow can combat. And I think our energy would be better spent if we stop trying to convince the orange cult to change their minds, to come over to our side, to be on the right side of history, and focus more on our positive feelings and examples, and feed that to the folks who are either neutral. There goes my alarm. Sorry, kids. Or, indeterminate. And also focus on the people, because there's so many people who are of like mind that don't get involved because they truly believe that their voices don't matter and that their votes don't count. And I know this from personal experience. I have many years walked precincts, to get out the vote. I have, went door to door in places in different towns where people never go. So those folks, they feel non-existent. They are underrepresented. They're under-contacted, under-interacted with. These are people who deserve to have the same information as we do and deserve to be spoken to and to be engaged with. There are so many of our like-minded people who are disengaged, who really, really, really don't think their voice matters or will be heard, and really, really, really don't think their vote counts. So then they don't. They don't get out and vote. They don't participate. They don't talk to others and share information, go to rallies. Those are the people that we should be, and always, not just in this circumstance, but always. We shouldn't have all these people on the periphery, people who are underrepresented, people who are marginalized. We should be reaching out to all of our peeps and having conversations and letting people, pick our brains, letting people, talk about pros and cons of candidates, about, bills, assembly bills, Senate bills, whatever the case may be. We can lead by example. We can share the positivity, the peace. We can be the beacons of light. And we can change things. We really can. But not by forcing somebody else to change, but by showing our own folks, especially those who have been marginalized, especially those who feel out there and disconnected from the rest of us. These are the people we should really be engaging and caring about and bringing into the fold and sharing our light and sharing our desire for peace. Show that we are peaceful. Show that we are positive. Show that there is change that can be made. Show that we can be the changes that we wish to see in the world. If you ever get a chance to go to Mount Shasta, especially if it's a retreat with Kim Copeland and Danny Shea, man, do it. It is so good to spend the time in such a special location. In fact, it's so special that I had been wondering before, where will this animal sanctuary that we are building, where is it going to go? And when I was driving up there last week, as soon as I got close to the mountain and the vegetation changed and the elevation changed, and then I saw the snow-capped mountain of Mount Shasta, and I just felt it. I felt like I could really live here. Gosh, I could live here. And then I thought, oh my gosh, maybe this is where the animal sanctuary should be. So I did bring it up with the people, with our people. And I got a lot of good feedback on that. And I do now have some folks who are happy to help look for property. Thank you, Adrian. And help create a sanctuary, not just for animals, but for people as well, which was always my plan too. I want to have, the tiny houses on the property for folks to, get away if they just want to get away, or vacation if they want to vacation, or for some folks might want to just come and live in the tiny houses, and maybe they're retired and so they want to work in the organic garden and they want to help take care of the sanctuary animals. The possibilities are many, but Lori and I were on the same page with this. So it was so moving. And I was so happy that there are so many people in our community that are on board, because I know y'all are animal lovers. That's a given, but it's more than just loving animals. It's a big undertaking, but it's an undertaking that I want to take and that I've been thinking about since the early 90s when I came up with Love Lives Here Ranch. And I feel after this week in Shasta that I'm so much closer because I'm really actually engaging the village in the saying it takes a village. I can't think of a better group of people to create an animal sanctuary, a people sanctuary, a sanctuary, than with our woo-woo community that we've created here on YouTube. And I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited. And I can't wait for more of this to blossom. And I had made a custom shirt that with the logo on it. I don't want to say my, because I want this to be a village, but I guess my is the appropriate thing at this moment, with a logo that I created that says Love Lives Here Ranch. And I wore it up at Mount Shasta, and people were interested in buying one, and that never occurred to me. I wore the shirt because I wanted people to ask me about it. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to pick people's brains. I wanted to engage people, and that did happen. And Mel Dorr, bless his beautiful heart, he said, well, give me a link for those and I'll put it on my page. That's so awesome. Now I have to get busy finding someone to make the t-shirts, and then who can, sell them and ship them. So if any of you know a good resource for that, do write it in the comments below. That would be great. I've been looking, but word of mouth is such a good way to go, because if you've experienced a vendor and that they have good prices, they do good jobs, and they take care of the sales and the shipping, and they send you your portion of the sales, and that they're trustworthy and do good work. Yay, good. That's what word of mouth. That's how I found my dentist. Word of mouth. Pun not intended. Okay, so I just wanted to share all of that with you and let you know how wonderful the retreat at Mount Shasta was, and how much I appreciate, how much I'm thankful for having the chance, the opportunity to spend that time in that location with those people, those beautiful, beautiful, wonderful people from our community, from our YouTube online woo-woo community. I do plan on doing some pick-a-piles. Hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow. If not, as soon as I'm feeling better, I will get some pick-a-piles posted for you lovely people. All right, well, thank you for dropping in. And as always, even though I didn't read any cards, this is for entertainment purposes only. This channel is about connecting with like-minded people and reading cards and talking about crystals and all that kind of good stuff. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you, and take care, and shall see you soon. Ciao.